People say to me, but everybody does it, it's normal to do drugs. But then when you're on the end of a telephone call from a mother of a 17-year-old who's got some cocaine off the street, snorted it up in the bathroom and they're dead, is it normal to do drugs?
I'm at BCA College to find out what the students think about excessive drug use. Drug abuse has become increasingly more common in today's society and only appears to be getting worse.
I don't think it's that bad. I think it depends on the person and how much they use them, because it's a choice to use them. So
I'm just really against it because I just think the consequences are bad.
Drinking is it's not that bad. Everyone does it. Drugs is a bit can be bad, can be good. If they're for medicinal purposes. Yeah.
Well, I think when you're young, you should do it because it's an experience.
Just people that take it too far and go too far and risk hurting themselves or others. I think that's where it gets a bit problematic.
Within the government going over new legislations to legalise marijuana for medical purposes, it raises questions about how it can be acquired and if the new laws can be abused and add to our already increasing problem with drugs in this country. Alcohol is the substance most commonly abused by teens. The social acceptance of drinking amongst the people of the legal age can lead to many teenagers to view alcohol as relatively harmless. Approximately 20% of Year 12s reported binge drinking in 2014. Do you drink/take drugs?
yeah,
How often?
probably say at least once every 2 weeks.
What is that, drinking or taking drugs?
Mainly drinking.
I drink, but alcohol is also considered as a drug, so yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I do not.
You don't drink?
I do drink.
Do you take drugs?
No.
How often do you drink?
About 3 times a week, maybe.
We have conducted an interview with Elizabeth Burton Phillips, the founder of highly acclaimed charity Drugs Fam, to see how drugs affect the families of the users.
So the story is, I'm a local lady that lives in Twyford, not very far from here, and I have had 3 children, a daughter who studied at Oxford and became a lawyer, and twin sons who sadly one day accepted some cannabis and started to smoke it with their friends, and found themselves and their friends going down the route of using what one would call recreational drugs, and you can get an addiction. And very sadly, both of them became addicted to heroin, and one died by suicide as a result of his addiction 14 years ago. And so as a mother, when you go through this kind of experience, and as a family member, when you go through this kind of experience, you learn that actually drug taking, whatever form it is in, and alcohol, whatever form it is in, seriously affects the family. It's not about the person just using for a laugh, it's about the actions and consequences on the family. This was what was found next to my son's body. And this is the actions and consequences of what can happen. The needles and spoons that were used by him and will be used, and that will be familiar drug paraphernalia for anybody who becomes addicted to heroin, to a Class A drug. And you can't work when you've got that lifestyle. It's completely chaotic because all you want is the drugs in your system. We sat down and thought, what would we like to do? In Nicholas's memory that was worthwhile, and we felt that it was very important to acknowledge that families do need support. What we offer is a 7-day-a-week service from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m, and the primary service is the phone line, because we have phone calls from people all over the UK and indeed abroad. So the phone line, so they have telephone support. So I would suggest that they ring our helpline 0300 888 3853. This 7 days a week from 9 till 9. I wouldn't want you to think this is an extraordinary story, because it is a very ordinary story of what's happening to people day after day.
Whose responsibility do you think it is to help prevent kids from substance abuse?
I think probably parents, obviously, just to talk to them about it and so they know the effects of it, but also schools, because they can educate people about the effects it could have.
Definitely the parents hold some form of responsibility to make sure not only their kids are well educated on the subject, and making sure that not only they're not doing them, but if they find out that they are, not enabling them to do it.
I think any sort of legal guardian or school even, if the school can help sort of teach them and get them aware of the different substances and what the issues are with them, then I think that's sort of where that's where children spend most of their time. So I think that's the main source.
Their own. You can't blame anyone else apart from themselves.
What age do I begin?
Yeah.
God, I must have been like 14.
About 14.
Say about 15.
When I was 13.